All right, so today we're going to start reading another sci-fi short story called "There Will Come Soft Rains" by Ray Bradbury. This is a story that was written in 1950, but it's about close to the time that we're in now, 2026. Um, and you'll kind of notice as we go through, it has a lot to do with technology, and a lot of the technology is stuff that is close to what we have today. He did a pretty good job of predicting. And I'm going to stop probably several times to talk about some stuff in the story, but we'll probably start it today and finish it tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and start. There Will Come Soft Rains by Ray Bradbury. In the living room, the voice clock sang. Tick tock, 7 o'clock. Time to get up, time to get up, 7 o'clock. As if it were afraid nobody would. The morning house lay empty. The clock ticked on, repeating and repeating its sounds into the emptiness. 7-9, breakfast time, 7-9. In the kitchen, the breakfast stove gave a hissing sigh and ejected from its warm interior 8 pieces of perfectly browned toast, 8 eggs sunny side up, 16 slices of bacon, 2 coffees, and 2 cool glasses of milk. Today is August 4th, 2026, said a second voice from the kitchen ceiling, in the city of Allendale, California. It repeated the date 3 times for memory's sake. Today is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Today is the anniversary of Toleda's marriage. Insurance is payable, as are the water, gas, and light bills. So you'll notice here, this seems a lot like an Alexa or Google Home, or maybe even something that you'd see on your smartphone, or even something that social media would do now. It's reminding you of the date. It's acting as an alarm. Um, they also have some pretty impressive kitchen stuff, but there's some things that kind of can approximate this today. So all technology that is more or less within our reach now. And this guy's predicting this in 1950, so that's pretty neat. Somewhere in the walls, relays clicked. Memory tapes glided under electric eyes. 8-1, tick tock, 8-1, o'clock. Off to school, off to work, run, run, 8-1. But no door slammed. No carpets took the soft tread of rubber heels. It was raining outside. The weather box on the front door sang quietly. Rain, rain, go away. Rubber's raincoats for today. And the rain tapped on the empty house, echoing. So we can see here no one is home. And we don't know yet, are they on vacation? Have they already left early? Or is it something worse? And we'll see. Outside, the garage chimed and lifted its door to reveal the waiting car. After a long wait, the door swung down again. At 8:30, the eggs were shriveled and the toast was like stone. An aluminum wedge scraped them down a metal garbage disposal, which digested and flushed them away to the distant sea. The dirty dishes were dropped into a hot water and emerged twinkling dry. A hot washer, sorry. And notice here, and we're going to keep noticing this, the words that are used to describe what the house does. The garbage disposal digested the food. You think about what normally digests things. It's animals, it's people. This wording might be used to describe the actions of machinery from time to time. But you'll notice throughout this, the house is treated almost as a person. It's personified in a way. It's treated as if it were alive. And the actions that describe it in that way, describe it as a being that is alive. 9:15, sang the clock, time to clean. Out of little slots in the wall, tiny robot cleaning mice darted. This might remind you of like a Roomba that we would have today, although they're much more advanced, it would seem. The rooms were acrawl with the small cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They thudded against chairs, whirling their mustached runners, kneading up the rug nap, sucking gently at hidden dust. Then, like mysterious invaders, they popped into their burrows. Their pink electric eyes faded. The house was clean. 10 o'clock. The sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone in a city of rubble and ashes. This was the one house left standing. At night, the ruined city gave a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. So here we see it looks as if the people here aren't just, gone on vacation. It could be something much worse. We see a city that's in rubble and ashes. There's only one house left standing. There's a radioactive glow. All of these things point to nuclear war, to, a bomb being dropped. And if you think about the timing of the story, this makes sense. This was written in 1950. It's 5 years after World War II. America is starting into this Cold War with Russia. And, at the end of World War II, America had dropped bombs on Japan, atomic bombs that would have, these effects even after they had been dropped. This was a fear that was on everyone's mind. So throughout the story, we're going to have kind of two themes taking place. One, we're seeing, all the benefits of technology, how nice these people's lives are. And you'll notice that throughout, like everything is done for them. These people seem to live very comfortably. And technology is a large reason for that. At the same time, we have technology that has seemed to wipe out all life. So we're counterbalancing these two things. The benefits of technology with the obvious detriment that it has caused. 10:15, the garden sprinklers whirled up in golden founts, filling the soft morning air with scatterings of brightness. The water pelted window panes, running down the charred west side where the house had been burned evenly free of its white paint. The entire west face of the house was black save for 5 places. Pay attention to these 5 places. Here the silhouette in paint of a man mowing a lawn. Here, as if in a photograph, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still farther over, their images burned on wood in one titanic instant. A small boy, hands flung in the air. Higher up, the image of a thrown ball. And opposite him, a girl, hand raised to catch a ball which never came down. The 5 spots of paint, the man, the woman, the children, and the ball remained. The rest was a thin charcoal layer. The gentle sprinkler rain filled the garden with falling light. Until this day, how well the house had kept its peace. How carefully it had inquired who goes there, what's the password. And getting no answer from the only foxes and whining cats, it had shut up its windows and drawn shades in an old maidenly preoccupation with self-protection which bordered on mechanical paranoia. So this house is still doing its job. It's still keeping up its security detail. It's still keeping clean. It's still cooking breakfast, but no one is there. It's doing this all on its own. It quivered at each sound, the house did. If a sparrow brushed a window, the shade snapped up. The bird, startled, flew off. Not even a bird must touch the house. The house was an altar with 10,000 attendants, big, small, servicing, attending, in choirs. But the gods had gone away, and the ritual of their religion continued senselessly, uselessly. The gods, in this case, being the people who used to live there, they're gone. Everything in the house is built for their purpose, for their pleasure, for their use. Everything is doing what it's doing for them, and they are gone, and it's still continuing on, even though there's no point anymore. 12 noon. A dog whined, shivering, on the front porch. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog, once large and fleshy, but now gone to bone and covered with sores, moved in and through the house, tracking mud. Behind it whirred angry mice, angry at having to pick up mud, angry at inconvenience. For not a leaf fragment blew, and again, look, angry is describing the actions of the beings in this house. For not a leaf fragment blew under the door, but what the wall panels flipped open and the copper scrap rats flashed swiftly out. The offending dust, hair, or paper seized in miniature steel jaws was raced back to the burrows. There down tubes was fed into the cellar. It was dropped like evil ball in the dark corner. The dog ran upstairs, hysterically yelping at each door, at last realizing, as the house realized, that only silence was here. It sniffed the air and scratched the kitchen door. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes, which filled the house with a rich odor and the scent of maple syrup. The dog frothed at the mouth, lying at the door, sniffing, its eyes turned on fire. It ran wildly in circles, biting at its tail, spun in a frenzy, and died. It lay in the parlor for an hour. 2 o'clock, sang a voice. Delicately sensing decay at last, the regiments of mice hummed out as softly as blown gray leaves in an electrical wind. 2:15, the dog was gone. So these mice have, essentially eaten up the dog here, and done away with his remains. In the cellar, the incinerator glowed suddenly. A whirl of sparks leaped up the chimney. The dog has been incinerated now. 2:35. Bridge tables sprouted from the patio walls. This is at 2:35. So these people left at 8. They're back at 2:30. Playing cards fluttered onto pads and shower of pips. Martinis manifested on an oaken bench with egg salad sandwiches. Music played. But the tables were silent and the cards untouched. At 4 o'clock, the tables folded like great butterflies back through the paneled walls. 4:30. We're going to pause there for today and finish the rest tomorrow. There's a little quiz for you to do right after this. Make sure you've gotten that done. And have a good day. Bye.